Cheqona. That's right. You don't have to work for money. Let money work for you. That's what we do. Yeah. What we do, yeah, we trade. 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 What we do, said we trade. Said what we do, yeah, we trade. What we do, yeah, we trade. What we do, yeah, we trade. That's right.
10 pips a day takes poverty away. 20 pips a day take wifey on a date. 50 pips a day, I'ma quit my job today. You wondering why I trade? I don't know why you don't trade. Hey, you should be trading, and you could be making money from your smartphone, and you could be escaping the 9 to 5. 9 to 5. Stress online, stress online. I can see you from your face, you wanna cry. I don't know why you're not trading though.
You should own your Kairos moment.
You should be trading.
Yeah.
Really? You asking me what we do? Should we tell her? What we do?
Yeah, we trade.
Say what we do?
Hey, we trade.
What we do?
Yeah, we trade.
Say what we do?
Say we trade.
What we do?
Yeah, we trade.
Said what we do?
Yeah, we trade.
What we do?
Yeah, we trade.
Said what we do?
Yeah, we trade.
Hey.
All right. Okay, so we are live. Good morning once again, guys. How you doing? I just want you to know that I'm super excited for today's Check-In Monday as well, because there are some couple of few things we're going to be talking about. But then I just want you guys to drop in the chat. Let me know where you are tuning in from. Let's just get to know where you're tuning in from. Very important. I will just say hello to y'all. Good morning. I don't know where you are tuning in from. Just let me know, because it's super early in some places. And currently right now in my place is 12 noon. Right now, 12 noon. And I literally just said, you know what? Let's just see how this goes this morning. Because I know that sometimes waking up early from where you are may be a little bit stressing for you. But you know that this session is not going to, waste your time. And that is why you are here today on this live session. Okay, so just let me know in the chat where you are tuning in from. Nigeria in the house. Perfect. We got Nigeria in the house. Incredible. Who else? Good morning. Good morning, Junior. How are you doing? Okay. You guys should talk to me for a second. I hope you guys are doing well. I know that it's super early in some places right now, but Check-In Mondays is a very essential, live session for you, especially if you want to take your trading seriously. We don't talk about things that maybe you've not heard before. That is not what it is. It's more of making sure that you are being held accountable for your decisions, all right, for your plans, all right, and then most importantly, to get rid of all the false narratives in your head. All right. So before we go right into today's session, we are quickly just going to make sure that we take a few short break. I can see that you guys are. So just while we are taking a short break, just make sure whoever is supposed to be on this session right now, just remind them that they have to be on. So we're going to take like 60 seconds break. We come back and we go right into the psychology tips. All right, let's go.
Cheqona. Cheqona.
That's right. You don't have to work for money. Let money work for you. That's what we do. Yeah. What we do, yeah, we trade. 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 What we do, said we trade. Said what we do, yeah, we trade. What we do, yeah, we trade. What we do, yeah, we trade. That's right.
10 pips a day takes poverty away. 20 pips a
All right. So as I said, good morning once again, guys. Welcome to Check-In Mondays with Cheqona. So this first segment, you already know we're going to be talking about the psychology tips and every single thing. Today, when I was coming on this call, I said I want to bless somebody today on this call with an information that is not going to waste your time. I genuinely really want to be able to make sure you leave this call with something that will help you to know what to do. And then, it crossed my mind that we've been talking about a lot of things. One of the things we talk about a lot in our community is the self-assessment part of your journey. All right. You may have heard me saying this. Oh, South Africa in the house. Good morning, guys. So you may have heard me talk about self-assessment a lot. The question is, what are some of the things that you need to ask yourself? What questions do you need to ask yourself before you even get heavily involved in trading? So going in ASAP. Good morning, Milton. So going in ASAP right now, I have some couple of things I want to share with you guys. Is basically the fundamental questions you need to ask yourself that will really help you for you to be able to make sure, you are on a very good point of making the right decisions. So the first question that I have over here is very simple. By the way, if I'm not looking on the screen, it's just because I have my eyes on my notes. So one of the first questions I have here is, what is my motivation for trading Forex? What is your motivation for trading Forex? And I want you guys to make sure you have your book and your pen while you are taking notes out of these things. It's very important that you have your book and your pen. Please take notes. All right, don't just be on this call just for being on sake. Check some notes. Write some couple of things down. What is my motivation for trading Forex? All right, the question is on the screen. What is my motivation for trading Forex? Very important that you understand this. So we're going to be bringing the questions on one by one. Okay, we're going to be bringing the questions on one by one so that you guys can be able. This is the first question. What is your motivation for trading Forex? What motivates you? Because remember, if you don't have the right motivation, if you started for the wrong reasons, that stage will be what stage will that be? What stage will this be? I've taught you guys this, that there are 5 stages of trading that every trader goes through as in your journey. What stage is this? I've talked about this. When you start something and you started because you saw someone apparently making $5,000 in a day, or you saw somebody, making $10,000 on Instagram and they were flaunting their money. What type of stage is it? Can you put in a chart? Let me see. If anybody gets the answer right, we can bring it on the screen so that we can be able to, let people learn something right now. So there is a stage that you start learning, you start trading, but it wasn't from a place of research or, doing something right, or you come from a family of traders. You purposely started trading because you saw somebody making money and you're like, hey, I can also do this. That first stage is what I call the unconscious incompetence. So what is your motivation for trading Forex? Can we bring the question number 2 on the screen, please? So that we can also look at one of the things they can ask themselves. So the first one is, the second one is, what is my risk tolerance? What is your risk tolerance? Can you tolerate risk? These questions are not questions you are asking yourself because you know how to trade. You're asking yourself to know the areas you need to focus on so that it doesn't hinder your success. Very important. All right. So what is your risk tolerance? The first question, what motivated you to start trading? Second question is, what is your risk tolerance? Now let's go to the third question. The third question you need to ask yourself also is, what is my time horizon for trading? What this simply means is that there are people that are long-term investors. There are people that are short-term investors. How long can you hold a trade? How long is your patient level when it comes to investment? Do you hold trades for 30 days, 1 minute, 5 minutes? The last time we had a session called Story of My Lives with incredible traders that you guys heard their story from. One of the things from one of the traders, he said, with him, he doesn't know why he should stay in a trade for more than an hour. That is why he decided to become a scalper. He knows his time horizon for trading. It's very, very, very important. Let's bring the next question also on the screen. So guys, I'm going to be doing these questions so that you write them down. Anywhere we end, we will continue on someday, okay? How much capital can I afford to invest in Forex? How much capital can I afford to invest in Forex? You may have heard this before, that do not risk any amount of money that you are not willing to lose. It doesn't mean that you are planning on losing, but hey, just in case you lose your money, are you willing to lose an amount of money? So that is a question you need to ask yourself. How much capital can I afford to invest in Forex? In other words, how much capital am I willing to risk? All right, let's pause here for a second. Are you guys getting these questions? These are the questions that you're going to be assessing yourself, with. So based on the answer you give yourself, will show you how your journey could look like if you don't take these questions seriously. Does that make sense? So let me just drop some number ones in the chat, in the comment section. Let me know that you are following this. Now let's go to the next question again. Let's go to the next question as well. Let me see what we have there. Do I understand how the Forex, okay, unconscious incompetence, great. John said unconscious incompetence. This is to the stage. Okay, let's bring the next question. Do I understand how the Forex market works? No. If you are a beginner, you don't really understand how it works. So that alone should show you the kind of knowledge you should look for. So these questions that you are asking yourself, all right, they are a series of questions that you ask yourself to know what you're looking for. For example, if you enter a restaurant and then you don't know that you are there for a food, then you might not be able to order anything. Does that make sense? But then if you know I'm hungry, I like continental foods, I like Asian foods, I like African food, whatever it is, you know what you are looking for. Therefore, you can let someone assist you. So this question, in a way, is helping you to know what exactly you are looking for, because because we live in a space where knowledge is around us a lot. It's good news and it's bad news, because sometimes you don't know how to niche it. You don't know how to narrow it down to specifics. And that is why these questions are there. Now let's go to the next other question as well. Let's see what we have. Do I have solid understanding of technical analysis and fundamental analysis? Basically, and today we'll be looking at some basics in technical analysis in the market overview. This is another question you can ask yourself. It says, do I have solid understanding of technical analysis and fundamental analysis? Now, I grouped these questions into multiple questions. Now, what I want us to do is I want us to go to the second batch, which is only focusing on the psychology part. Let's start from the number one part of that. All right, let's start from the number one part of the psychology questions at the second part of the questions. So that one, we're going to be looking at some questions you need to ask yourself, mainly connecting to your psychology tip. It says, am I able to control my emotions while trading? Can you do that? Can you control your emotions? Because emotional intelligence is key. Again, you've heard me say this over and over again. Emotional intelligence is key. Do not downplay the importance of emotional intelligence. So this question, so I want you to write on top of this question psychology questions I need to ask myself. Question number one. Let's go to the question number two of the psychology questions. Can I remain disciplined and stick to my trading plan? You see, you can draw a plan and you might say, I will follow it. But what if, have you guys ever seen movies where the person is so hungry that what they do is that they start to see everything as food? Even when they see their loved ones, their head shape turns into burger. That is when you want something so bad and you are willing to risk anything for that. That is what sometimes, I used to say this to people. I said, are you raping in other words, are you taking too much advantage of your account? What I mean by that, are you abusing? Let me use the word abuse. Are you abusing your account? So what I mean by that is that anytime you look at your account, it's like, oh man, I'm so broke. And right now I want to just make me $10,000 now. And you just want to jump on your account and abuse it. Do you do that? You don't have to take advantage of your account like that. The account, I'm sure sometimes your account is like, oh, no, I can only give you $5 per day. And you're like, no, give me $100 per day. So can I remain disciplined and stick to my trading plan regardless of whatever the situation may be? That is a question you need to ask yourself. Let's go to the question number 3. So the question number 3 says, and again, the question that you need to ask yourself is, do I have the patience to wait for good trading opportunities? So I know that a habit has been created in this industry for retail traders where people only focus on trades every day. They want trades every day, every single day. Even me, myself, sometimes back in the days, I used to be cornered in that space because, I give trade ideas to people to also make money. And sometimes a habit like that is when you don't trade because the opportunities are ready. You trade because you think that you need to send trades, which is very, 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 very unreasonable. But that is a habit that has been created, unfortunately. Let's go to the next question again. Can I handle losing streaks? Now, this question right here, can I handle losing streaks without letting it affect my confidence? What that means is that there are days that we call them losing streaks. You will lose. Not because you don't know how to trade. It's just called a losing streak. Your emotions are out of the place. You are losing. Everyone has their losing streak days. I do have mine. All right. You are going to get yours eventually, no matter what happens. The question is, are you going to be able to control yourself without letting it affect your confidence? You may right now be on this live session and some losing streak that you had have not let you bounce back again. But the reason why you're not bouncing back is because you don't know what we call the losing streak. Losing streak is something that is very important that you understand, because losing streaks is something that eventually they happen. Losing streaks is something that no matter what you do, they will eventually happen. They are things that sometimes you don't even know why it's happening. It may be an emotional thing. It may be because you are missing the information needed. It's because you are not following your trading plan. But when it happened like that, and it's your first time, because you didn't know that it was meant to happen, you now don't know how to come back into the market again. You are out of confidence. But the question here is, can I handle losing streaks without it affecting my confidence? Let's go to the next question. 2 minutes to take more few questions, and then we take it out from there. Can I stay focused and alert while trading? You need to stay focused and alert, all right, while trading. Very important. That means if you are somebody that you lose focus quickly, you have a problem. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't do something about it. All these questions you're asking yourself is so that you can create a plan around how to attack it. Let's go to the next question again. Am I able to accept losses and move on instead of dwelling on them? This part of the trait is called forward thinking. The ability for you to think forward. You see, when you look at all these things we're looking at today, it's not just in trading, it's around every single part of our life. Are you able to move forward? Or you are the kind of person, when something happens to you today, you talk about it to every single person, every single day, every single year, every single minute. You can't just stop talking about something that happened to you 5 years ago. Oh man, can you imagine 5 years ago? Oh man, can you imagine 2 years ago? Oh man, can you imagine last week? Blah, 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 blah. Forward thinking is very important. You honor what happened in your life and you appreciate it, but you need to know how to move forward. Let's take 2 more questions and we are done for these questions. Can I remain objective when analyzing the market? This is part of the question that is connected to your cognitive bias. Can I remain objective when analyzing the market? Remember, I told you guys this, that we have different type of biases. We have something called confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is when you don't remain objective. You are solely focusing on what you believe in. All right. You're like, no, it's going to sell. And then you start to look for ideas that support your selling. You are not objective. You are not or being open-minded. Let's take one more question and then we go for a short break, come back and we'll look at the market overview. Can I resist the urge to overtrade or trade impulsively? Now, impulsive decisions is something majority of us go through. We mostly make decisions not because our parents are like that. You are like that. Our parents take some people to some schools, not because that is the school they want their children to go to, but that is the school their friends' children are going to, and therefore they make impulsive decisions like that. So while you are a child, this is how you have been seeing decisions being made over and over and over and over again. You know, the reason why we lie to ourselves, it's not because you were a liar, it's because you lived in lies. Can you relate to this? Have you ever wondered when sometimes you are in your house and your parents should be like, somebody is looking for you, mom? It's like, go and tell the person I am not there. Have you heard that before? Go and tell the person I am not there. But as a child, you are like, wait, what? But mommy, you are here. So no, go. I don't want to see him. Go tell him that I'm not there. But in your mind, you know, wait, this is confusing. One point, my mom is here. She's saying I should go tell the person that she is not there. So as a child, you start to buy into the idea of lies and not being honest to yourself and around you. So the way we grow up is very essential that you take note of those things. So while you were growing up, and even if you go and tell the visitor that my mom said I should tell you that she is not there, she's not going to beat you up because you didn't lie well. Is that true? You didn't lie well because she was expecting you to lie well. Now, when you grow up and you pick up that habit and start lying well, they said you were a bad child because you lie well. You see, we come from a space in this world that things that we have become is as a result of our environment. So you need to be very careful. These questions are not the only thing that is there. Maybe I'll put them into the channel on Telegram and then we take it out from there. But we need to go for a short break, come back and we go to the Forex market overview. If you are enjoying the session already, drop some things in the chat while we take a short break. Thank you. Let's go.
Cheqona. Cheqona.
That's right. You don't have to work for money. Let money work for you. That's what we do. Yeah. What we do, yeah, we trade. 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 What we do, said we trade. Said what we do, yeah, we trade. What we do, yeah, we trade. What we do, yeah, we trade. That's right.
10 pips a day takes poverty away. 20 pips a day take wifey on a date. 50 pips a day I'ma quit my job today. You wondering why I trade? I don't know why you don't trade. Hey, you should be trading and you could be making money from your smartphone and you could be escaping the 9 to 5. 9 to 5. Stress a lot. Stress a lot. I can see you from your face. You wanna cry. I don't know why you're not trading though.
You should own your Kairos
You
moment.
should be trading.
Yeah.
All right. Can you guys hear me? So can we bring the sharing screen part so that I can use my trading view to... Okay, perfect. Thank you. Can you guys hear me loud and clear? If you can hear me loud and clear, can you just drop some number ones in the chat? Let's go. So how are you guys? Are you guys enjoying this session so far? Is it something that you are enjoying it? Did you learn something? You know, just put it in the chat in the comment section. Let's bring it up. It helps us to know how the session is going for you, and it helps us to know what to give more. Very important. Today, I want to talk about something very important that I think a lot of people don't really understand. And I want to take the advantage of this. I'm going to go to Risen session. No, I'm going to go to the Forex area because a lot of people trade Forex a lot. So let's say Euro USD because a lot of people trade the Euro pair or the GBP JPY. You guys traded a lot. I'm gonna use this as a way to analyze this for you guys to understand something. Can you guys see my screen? Perfect. Okay, perfect. So one of the things that I want to do today is that there are few foundation tips that I think a lot of people don't have. They don't understand it. So what happens to them is that they end up making decisions that shows that clearly they don't have that sort of understanding. And what I want to do today is basically to help you guys to understand some few things during the market overview. I always say this, that it's more about what you can read and what you can see is how you make decisions. We don't make decisions based on desires and emotions. We make decisions based on what we know, what we understand, our convictions. Does that make sense? And because of that, I want to talk about something very important a lot of people may not have realized. So, for example, they asked me, Cliff, first of all, I told you guys this before, that we have bars, candles, hollow candles, columns, line, area, baseline, whatever it is, line, wrinkle, all of that here. But we use, most people use either areas, lines, and candles. Normally, people who use areas are those who are involved in binary options and all of that. High Kinashi as well, people also use it. But the most common one that you will normally see people using is what? The candles, and mostly the line chart also to find out some couple of few areas and all of that. But however, candles is the most thing that we use. Why? Because candles is easy to read, number one. Number two, and also it helps you for you to be able to see where price went that rejected, and you wouldn't have seen that on the line chart if in case you came late. Does that make sense? So that is the reason why. So we're going to stay with a candle, and let's not define candles. In candles, one thing that you will see is, if we can bring it on the screen in that order, let's arrange it and let it pop up on the screen, that every single time you see a candle, you will find a body. Number one, you will find a body. The body, you will find a wick. All right, a body, a wick. All right, so a body, a wick. And the things that you will find, yes, you will find a body, okay, and then you will find a wick. All right, if you guys are listening, and then you will find a low, and you will find a high. So you will find a body, a wick, low, high, open, and closing. Open and closing. Open and closing. Very important that you understand it. Does that make sense? So you will find a body, a wick, a high, a low, a closing, and opening. Very important you guys understand this. All right. So while you have that in mind, I want you to look at my screen right here. So first of all, let's name it. Let's name it like the human anatomy. Okay. Let's name it. Let's give it names. Okay. So I'm gonna put this here. I'm not gonna put this one here. And then I'm gonna put this here. And I'm gonna put this here. So far, this is where we are currently right now with the whole entire movement on a month period on Euro USD. Now, this here is the open of this candlestick. Can you guys see it? This here is the low of this candlestick. This here is the high of this candlestick. And this body, this is the body. Okay, so this whole entire part where you see the color is the body. This where you see the wick is the high so far of this candlestick. This that you see here is the closing. So far, it is, because the candlestick is still moving, we won't say it's closed officially, but so far this is where it is. This is the opening. Does that make sense? So we have the body, the wicks. So the wicks shows the high and the lows. The body shows the opening and the closing. Does that make sense? The body shows the opening and the closing. The wicks shows the high and the lows. Now I want us to analyze 2 monthly candlesticks together. So on this candlestick on January, we can find that this is what we have designed. Now let's do another one more time again. Now I want to ask you guys this question. With this candlestick, okay, with this candlestick, what will be this area here? This candlestick, if I put this one here is definitely the open of this one. Does that make sense? This one right here, this one is the closing, sorry. This is the opening. Okay, this is the opening of this. We're analyzing this candlestick right now. So this is the opening. This is the low of this candlestick. This is the low of that candlestick. This is the high of this candlestick. So what this means is, if I'm reading this chart, what this means is that this candlestick in the month of December, this was the high, this was the closing, this was the opening, this was the low. Now, when it closed over here, it opened in January at this place, came down to hit this low, rejected and went back up again to form this high, came back and is staying here. So now we have analyzed 2 months candlesticks on a monthly period. Now check this out. If I now start narrowing down these 2 candlesticks on the monthly all the way down to the 4 hours, you will start to see structures. Do you see this now? Is this making sense? Look at that. In a simplicity way, we now have zones. Is that true? So, hey, Cliff, why do sometimes people use rectangle? We only use rectangle because instead of using double line, we can do something like this. So this only shows you the high, the low, the opening, the closing on the higher time frame, right? This area here was a mitigated area. You can tell that the price went all the way up, came back here and rejected here perfectly. All right, this is the part where it broke forth out of this area, came back here, formed. So with that simplicity of reanalyzing just 2 candlesticks on the monthly time frame, broke it down and brought it into a 4-hour time frame. Now we are finding structures. Now, the more I keep on going down to lower time frame, the more the structure keeps on changing. Now, how did I analyze this market? Did I use something complicated? No. All I did was I chose only 2 candlesticks on the monthly, placed the lines, the horizontal ray lines, on the high, the low, the opening, the closing, expanded that candlestick on a smaller time frame. Voila, there we go. Now we are starting to see structures of place we can focus on. Now, what you can see right here is telling you, all right, what you see right here is basically the monthly 2 candlesticks, just 2 candlesticks on the monthly expanded as in 1-hour time frames. Let me pause here for a second. Is this something that is opening someone's mind into analysis differently? So, hey, Cliff, why are we using candlesticks? Because candlesticks is easier for you to see the low, the high, the low, the opening, closing, right? So if you choose 2 candles, so I'm going to give you guys a homework and try this. Very easy. If you are new and you are wondering, hey, how do I do this? Very easy. Choose 2 candlesticks on a monthly period. Find the low, find the high, find the opening, find the closing. Expand it to 4 hours, 15 minutes, whatever you want. In fact, let's go to the 15 minutes. Every time frame that you will find, you will notice this has become a beautiful, beautiful structure. Is that true? Broke out of here, came here. So now, if in case it rejects from here, we know it's coming here. Isn't that true? That means it's going to end up in consolidating or whatever. If it breaks out of this, we know it's going to form a new high. Let's go into the chart and see if you guys are learning something. Let me pause here for a second. Are you guys learning anything? If you are learning something new right now on this call, someone said light bulb moment. I like that. Light. This is what we call light. So now, hey, Cliff, how do I analyze the market? You know, the reason why we are using candlesticks is because it's easy to analyze. What are you doing? Candlestick has a body. It has a wick. It has a low. It has a high. Simple. So what do? When you go, you are looking for the high. You're looking for the low, you're looking for the opening, you're looking for the closing. Now, if you decide to expand your data, you can choose 2 candlesticks on a monthly and put lines on the low, high, opening, closing, and all of that. Expand it. It will now frame the time for you on a smaller time frame and give you a structure that at least you can see. Does that make sense? Now, let me show you something. Now, if I bring this onto the screen right now, if I bring this onto the screen right now, if I bring this onto the screen right now, this only just helps you. This whole, strategy that you guys are using, it only helps you for you to be able to understand. Now, I've removed the intraday, the internal structure. Let's bring it on so that you guys can see. Let's bring the internal structure. Let me bring it so you guys will start to see some few things here coming up here and there. Exactly. So you see the internal structure right now is now marking what I have already marked for you guys automatically. You see that now? Let me remove it all. I'll bring it all back again. Let me remove it all. You see this area, we already marked that manually on the 2 candlesticks. This area was already marked. This area, you remember? So this tool is already doing those things for you automatically. But if you don't understand how to read a candlestick chart, you will now be confused. So the first thing you need to know about candlesticks is the body part of the candle. Wicks, body, high, lows. So every high and low of every time frame is connected to some candlestick somewhere. So the high and low is not a structure. It's a candlestick somewhere expanded as a structure. So that is why when you analyze a higher time frame and you come down, the structure loses more, right? Very important you understand this. So I'm going to, again, do this. I'm going to take it back so that we can have this on the screen, because I told myself that this will help somebody today. So again, let's do one more example so that you guys will understand. Let's choose one pair. Let's choose GBP USD. Let's go to the monthly time frame. Let's choose the monthly time frame. Let's do GBP USD. So GBP USD, let's choose 2 candlesticks again. Let's choose this and let's choose this. This is the high. Is that true? So far, this is the high. So far, this is the low. This is the closing in so far. Is it going to close that? We don't know. This is the opening here. Okay, let's choose this candlestick. This is the high for this candlestick. Okay, this one right here. So we're analyzing this candlestick and then this candlestick. This is the opening of this candlestick. So the reason why normally you will find a double lines and look like a zone is because normally those places are where you found closing and opening. All right. And then this also right here was the opening to this candlestick. And this was the low to this candlestick. So with this candlesticks right now, what do we have? Let's go and check it. We have this one here as the high. We have this one here as this high. This one, we don't need it. It was a mistake. Let me delete it. So now we have high, low, opening, closing, and all of that. Now let's expand this and let's take it to daily. You will notice that the daily, this is how it looks like. So this area here looks like a rejection. That if it breaks, it's going up. This looks like another rejection. Let's break it down to the 4 hours. We are starting to see a structure now. Is that true? One, coming back down here. This is an area where it actually took people out, came here, rejected, and forced itself back away. Let's go to the 1 hour. You're starting to see something now. Guess what happened? Same thing here. So it broke and came here with the momentum, retested in here and went up. So now that it's here, 2 things can happen, right? Is that true? What could happen is that it could either come back down here, all right, or it could break this, retest here and go back up. So we can find 2 things here. You can either do this, break the structures, change, come and find retest here. So these are the two things that can happen. Now, how then do you find an entry? That is something you need to take your time. We will come there later on. This was just market overview. I wanted to break this down simple for you guys. I wish we could go on and on and do different examples. So you have one homework for you to do. Go and choose 2 candles on each pair that you like analyzing. Start this way. Start reading the candlestick that way. Body, high, the body, the wick, high, low, opening, closing. Two candlesticks. Expand them into a time frame. Guess what happens? Voila, there you go. You're already making analysis. Then later on, how then do you translate that into different multiple ways of seeing the market? With that all being said, let's take a short break. Let's come back and let's go to FX Truth.
Cheqona. Cheqona.
That's right. You don't have to work for money. Let money work for you. That's what we do. Yeah. What we do, yeah, we trade. 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 What we do, said we trade. Said what we do, yeah, we trade. What we do, yeah, we trade. What we do, yeah, we trade. That's right.
10 pips a day takes poverty away. 20 pips a day take wifey on a date. 50 pips a day, I'ma quit my job today. You wondering why I trade? I don't know why you don't trade. Hey, you should be trading, and you could be making money from your smartphone, and you could be escaping the 9 to 5. 9 to 5. Stress a lot, stress a lot. I can see you from your face, you wanna cry. I don't know why you're not trading though.
You should own your Kairos
You
moment.
should be trading.
Yeah.
Really? You asking me what we do? Should we tell her? What we do?
Yeah, we trade.
Say what we do?
Yeah, we trade.
What we do?
Yeah, we trade.
Say what we do?
Say we trade.
What we do?
Yeah, we trade.
Said what we do?
Yeah, we trade.
What we do?
Yeah, we trade.
Said what we do?
Yeah, we trade.
Hey. You should be trading, and you could be making.
All right. How you guys doing right now? I hope you guys are doing well. So first things first, I want us to be able to understand something so that we can all be on the same page. So I know this FX Truth segment is normally where we talk about. I hope you guys are enjoying the live session though. FX Truth segment is something that we talk about to, clear the false narratives from our mind, all the false narratives and every single thing. We make sure it's out of our system. It's like detoxing yourself from every stupid thing that we thought was true and is not. But then this segment of FX Truth is going to be a Q&A. Okay, this segment of FX Truth is going to be a Q&A. I know there are so many things that is in the mind of you guys that you want to take it over. So try to make sure you quickly organize your questions, and then when you put it on, when you put it in the chat, it will be brought up on the screen so that I can be able to. Thank God I didn't miss this call. You are welcome. And then after we are done, you guys can share this call with people, because somebody is just wondering why I cannot read a chart. It's because they don't know the parts of the body of these things. So, okay. Anyway, by the way, FX Truth Q&A session, because you guys have so many questions. I know sometimes you guys ask me, I don't get time. For example, I've not also forgotten about the Eliott Wave Theory you guys asked, and the arbitrage also trading. The team already even prepared a slide for that. I just don't want to talk about that today, because today I wanted to talk to you guys about how to read a chart, simplifying it in the market overview. That is what we didn't talk about that. But then I will do that, God willing, next week. I promise, God willing, we will do that. Okay. Also about the challenge, some of you guys, I know you are you want to be involved in the challenge. So just pay close attention to your emails, and we get back to you. So let's go straight up into the FS Truth Q&A. If there is any question in the group or in the chat, we can bring it up on the screen. We can start attacking it from that angle that way. I hope you guys are preparing your questions. On a live market, do we need to put a line on current price on a M1 candlestick? When you say M1, do you mean a minute, 1 minute? Are you talking about 1 minute? If you're talking about 1 minute, 1 minute time frame is a smaller time frame. If you analyze your chart from a 1 minute time frame, there is more that you will miss. That is why, at least if you want to execute your trades from 1 minute, at least start from 15 minutes to see a bigger picture. So if you are putting lines on your current price on the 1 minute, it wouldn't make sense, because it's 1 minute. It's changing every single minute. Does that make sense? So that is why you start from a higher time frame. So one of the mistakes people make is that because they are scalpers, they think they don't have to analyze higher time frame. It's a mistake. You still need to. Analyzing higher time frame does not mean you are a higher time frame trader. It just means you want to see the bigger picture. If you don't see the bigger picture, you will miss something. And when you start to miss something and you don't quickly take yourself away from your emotions and start looking at the chart, you will start making emotional decisions. So you don't putting a line on even the current price does not even make sense. You have to close. So today on, what we're doing was not putting a line on current price. We're only just analyzing the opening, the closing, and then basically, does that make sense? Perfect. Analyzing on a minute by minute basis is not ideal. Yes, exactly. Thank you so much for bringing it on the screen, Robert. So analyzing on a minute by minute basis is not ideal. It's not something that you need to do because you want to take trades quickly. So remember, it's always about the bigger picture. So if you are a minute trader time frame guy, at least start from 15 minutes. All right. You can even do some 1 hour time frame analysis and see the bigger picture and narrow it down, all right, to the minute time frame. So just like what we did on the monthly, you can do the same on the 1 hour and narrow it down to 1 minute. It will let you see the bigger picture. All right. Very important. Next question, please. What can you say about psychological zones? Psychological zones, I don't have anything to say. They are just zones that buyers and sellers are waiting. That is all that it means. When we say a psychological zone, it just basically means a place where, in fact, let me just quickly just send this to the team so that they can bring it on the screen. I have notes so that they can bring, so you guys can see it. So let's bring this on the screen so that we can be able to take it out from there. So this is all that I wanted to talk about today. So Robert, if you don't mind, can you bring that on the screen for me? All right, so the question that you asked me, we're going to bring something on the screen so that you can be able to understand the simplicity of what you just asked me. So psychological zones, the first question that you're asking me is that what is it? And then what exactly should you be able to know about it? Very simple. So psychological zones is nothing but zones that carries a significant area of either you want to buy or you want to sell. And anytime that you hear buying and selling zones, what that means is this, is that this area, if it's going to be a selling zone, it means sellers are waiting. If it's at this area and it's going to be a buying zone, it means buyers are waiting. That way, it makes that area a significant area. So that is why they say when the market is in the middle, buyers and sellers, a lot of buyers and sellers that knows what they are doing, they don't necessarily wait in the middle of a move. They wait at the higher point and the down part. So psychological zones in Forex refer to the price levels on a currency chart that hold psychological significance for market participants and may act as potential support or resistance levels. This is it. Does that make sense? These levels can be based on round numbers, historical price action, or other factors, and traders may place trades based on the belief that these levels will hold as a significant point in the market. There is something here I want you to pay attention. It says trades based on the belief that, so that should tell you that even though we may think this is a significant area or a significant zone or psychological significant zone, it doesn't mean that it may be so. It is something we believe that when you look at the way the price have rejected multiple times here, definitely this must be a zone that is very important. And therefore, it is my support or my resistance. Just like what we were doing this morning, you know, the area where it was rejected twice, the high was there. So that means it's a significant zone. The price has rejected twice. That means sellers are waiting there. That means the probability that if the market gets there, it will come down is high in my belief system. If it doesn't do that, it's fine. We look for another area that we think can do that, then we wait for the price over there. Does that make sense? Or we go with it if it breaks that area. As simple as that. Does that make sense now? Okay, can we take another question? 5 minutes more to go, then we'll take a few questions and we wrap up. So psychological zones are price levels that hold psychological significance for traders. It's very important that you understand that there are areas where we think psychologically, we are thinking that traders are waiting to buy or sell in that area. So we use it as a support and a resistance. And remember, support and resistance are not just lines. They are areas that we think that this can serve as a floor or this can serve as a ceiling. All right. So ceiling, floor, you know that analogy. Very simple. All right. Is there any other questions in the chat right now? If not, then we will start prepared to wrap up. If there are any questions, just let me know. All right. I meant 1 month candlestick, which has not closed yet. So the 1 month, if that was the question that you were asking, if 1 month candlestick has not closed yet, right? Definitely there will be some internal, there will be some internal, how do I put it? There will be some internal structures that the market is currently breaking in within the months, all right, on the smaller time frames. Okay, so that is why, for example, if you look at the chart that I brought on the screen, you could see that there was an area where the price was breaking a previous closed candlestick, and the current candlestick was breaking. For example, I wasn't going to share my screen again, but this question deserved me to share my screen. So let's go back. I'm going to just share my screen one more time again. Let's take it out from there. Okay, so can we bring that one on the screen for me, please? Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So when you look at the screen right now, okay, when you look at this screen right now, one of the first things you need to understand is, let me clear all these things. So the question you're asking me about putting, so remember, there are two things that you are doing here. If you are choosing two candlesticks at least to analyze for a reason. So this candlestick right now here, this is the high for this. This is the high for that. This is where the price currently is. That means the price could eventually either come back down here, all right, or it could keep on pushing back here. So in this situation, even if you put this one here right now, if you go to, let's say, the 4 hours, let's go to the 4 hours. All what this means is that this is where the current price is at this moment here. This is where it is right now, but this is where it has rejected before. So you don't need to put the line over here to feel like you're doing something. That doesn't make sense. That is why you added the previous candlestick, so that the previous candlestick can serve as a closed rejection area while you are looking at what the price is doing at this moment. So in this situation, check this out. If in case this is where the price rejected, and some people will tell you, oh, hey, me, I don't put my lines on my wicks. Wick is part of the candlestick. So if you're using candlestick, you might as well just respect that as well. So let's say, for example, if this is where the current price is right now, what are the few things that could happen? We need to now go find the area of where price could reject, right? So let's go back to the monthly time frame again and let's see. So where price has been so far is the price has been here before. All right, previous rejections here, or we can even bring it down here. So in between here I'm adding this candlestick for a reason, because we're looking for a rejected area, right? So here, all right, and even here, which was the closing of this candlestick that we are analyzing, we have this space over here. That means if this price is going to reject from this angle to come all the way down, significantly speaking, now we know where to take it to. Does that make sense? So now we know if the price is rejecting here, I can now take the price to this area here. Does that make sense? And either do this or break this and come back down here, whichever way we will see. So this is how you should be able to analyze this. You don't need to put the lines on the, you are basically looking for high, low, closing and opening of previous candlesticks to be able to make decisions on the present one. So I was only just showing you that because the market on this candlestick, particularly the 1 month, has not closed yet. So every single time you're looking at the previous low, previous high, previous opening, closing to make a decision on your present candlestick. Now on our present candlestick right now on the monthly, this is how the structure looks like. So if I now go to the 30 minutes, I am now going to look for a smaller time frame structure, just like the same thing as well, to be able to make a decision. So in this case, this is how you analyze the market. As I said, this is not a confirmation lesson yet. This is basically me just showing you how to read candlestick. That other part of the lesson will come some other day, okay? So that you don't confuse yourself. I don't want you to just step by step. Remember, we always say that take your time. Let's go and learn how to read the candlesticks first. Everything else will follow. It's very important, okay? All right. Is there any other one last time question? If not, then we are just going to be done for the day. All right. Any more question? I think we are even overboard of time right now. But then if there is, sir, how many years is advisable to be training through before becoming a profitable trader? It's not by, you see, when it comes to trading, it's not about the years. The years only gives you an experience. Your intentionality towards learning is important. So if you give yourself 18 months, is reasonable than giving yourself 18 days. So I will not put a time limit specifically on how long it should take someone to become profitable. I will only put reasonable limits. What I mean by that is, you know that you're going to have to create some habits. You know that you're going to have to learn and take a break sometimes. You know that you're going to have to practice. So reasonably thinking now, if you put all these things into consideration, it shouldn't take you 18 days. It shouldn't take you 21 days. It shouldn't take you even 3 months. Even though 3 months can let you learn something, but you know that logically it should take you like at least 18 months. Not to become profitable, but to give yourself room to grow. Very important. Does that make sense? So you are trying to give, so the question here is, what time limit can you give yourself time to grow? You know, so that you can learn well. So 18 months, 2 years, 3 years down the line. And that is why when you go to a medical school, they don't teach you every single thing in one semester. They break it down into series of time periods that can last you for at least 7 years. So it is what is logic that will make the person not overwhelm themselves with education. At the same time too, you don't want to also take too much time. So if somebody goes to medical school for 14 years, all right, not specialization, but 14 years in a normal university, that is a problem. We need to find out what you are learning. Does that make sense? So according to the curriculum of what we do know in medicine, we know that at least 7 years should be enough for you to cover that, and then extra years for specialization. Same thing with trading. In trading, at least give yourself 18 months for covering every single thing that is important, growing, psychology, building habits, every single thing. Then after that, if you want to go deeper into learning so many different things, you can go ahead and proceed, but then give yourself room to learn. All right, guys, with that all being said, I think today we have done quite some education today on this live streaming. I hope that you guys have learned quite some things. If you enjoy this session, please recommend this live session to people. I know it's early, but recommend this live session to people. Don't let them miss it. Secondly, also as well, don't forget to subscribe and like, comment on these videos. It helps for this channel to grow. It helps. That is the way you guys can support, you know, a project and a community like this. So with that all being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this session. If you did enjoy this session, please leave a comment under this, you know, particular video. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me that you help this community to grow. With that all being said, thank you so much, guys. I will see you guys, God willing, next week, Monday, on episode 4 of Cheqona, Check-In Mondays with Cliff Cheqona. Let's go.
Cheqona. Cheqona.
That's right. You don't have to work for money. Let money work for you. That's what we do. Yeah. What we do, yeah, we trade. 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 What we do, said we trade. Said what we do, yeah, we trade. What we do, yeah, we trade. What we do, yeah, we trade. That's right.
10 pips a day takes poverty away. 20 pips a day take wifey on a date. 50 pips a day, I'ma quit my job today. You wondering why I trade? I don't know why you don't trade. Hey, you should be trading, and you could be making money from your smartphone, and you could be escaping the 9 to 5. 9 to 5. Stress a lie, stress a lie. I can see you from your face, you wanna cry. I don't know why you're not trading though.
You should own your Kairos moment.
You should be trading.
Yeah.
Really? You asking me what we do? Should we tell them? What we do?
Yeah, we trade.
Say what we do?
Yeah, we trade.
What we do?
Yeah, we trade.
Say what we do?
Said we trade.
What we do?
Yeah,